Hey folks, are you ready for a wild adventure with a dog? The professor missed the bus and had to take Bagong home, filling the hole she dug. Before leaving, he warned her not to escape again. Bagong knew she was wrong and thought, this little fugitive won't run now, then spent a boring morning in the yard until sunset. Suddenly, Bagong heard the train's arrival whistle and jumped into action. She sprang out of the yard like a little rocket and dashed to the Times Earl, pound, a tilde divided by Chinese letter half I circumflex et 22 L quarter o tilde o mud RTWE LVE liget GTC not sin plus or minus pound ow eumud eth a ring letter 33 microli o mud divided by e grov L acute half I grov b circumflex I'll be letter 6 before cyrillic letter 4 FB acute or amal acute a quarter paragraph e grov ed letter 7 to 1 pound. Symbol 3680 YQ to exited IU emerged from Poundnet sign, overjoyed at the sight to IU beyond excited to see him Poundnet sign turned direct reflex I am at daggish, a grov, a plus or minus, IQ. Gong's eyes lit up and she jumped into the professor's arms. Surprised and thrilled, he couldn't resist such enthusiasm. He thought it was his wife bringing Bagong, only to be teased by the coffee guy that she had come on her own. The station staff stared in awe, regretting missing the adorable furball. The next day, the professor went to work as usual and Bagong tagged along again. After calling Bagong back, just as he was about to shut the door, he caught a glimpse of her pitiful face, and his heart melted. From that day forward, the professor had a furry guard on his commute. Bagong was obedient, quietly leaving after escorting him to the station, leaving onlookers envious. When the afternoon train arrived right on schedule, Bagong was always waiting at the flower bed, spotting her owner in the crowd, and joyfully leaping into his arms. The professor's fatigue vanished instantly upon sensing Bagong's sincere longing, and from then on, picking him up became her routine. No matter the weather, be it hot, cold, rainy, or snowy, she is at the station at 5 o'clock sharp like a punctual clock. Gradually, the townsfolk recognized her, and this little one-dog duo became a heartwarming sight around town. Soon enough, the daughter fell in love and brought her boyfriend home. To lighten the mood, the boyfriend decided to play ball with Bagong. But when he told Bagong to fetch the ball, he realized she completely ignored him. The professor, sensing his embarrassment, gently explained that Bagong never fetches balls. Boyfriend, feeling awkward, took off to fetch the ball himself, only to trip and land face first on the ground. Talk about all. Puzzled by Bagong's refusal to fetch balls, the professor asked her Japanese friend and understood its typical Akita behavior after the explanation. Akitas won't please humans without special reasons. The simple sentence holds deep meaning. The professor ignored it until, calling Bagong as usual, she backed away repeatedly, acting oddly. The professor was baffled as Bagong spun and barked wildly, warning her not to leave. After soothing Bagong, the professor went out. Such a nosy dog. Don't remind me, it'll be late. Cheerfully saying goodbye, she thought, see you at 5, so you stay put, Bagong. Seeing her owner leave, Bagong ran to the storeroom, grabbed the ball she disdained, and rushed out the door to the station. The professor kept glancing back at Bagong while walking, and lucky for him, she caught up just in time before he entered the station. To everyone's surprise, today Bagong astonishingly decided to fetch the ball that her owner threw. What a shock! Excited, she threw the ball again, and seeing Bagong return with it made the professor unable to hide his smile. Looking at the conductor nearby, he boasted of his dog's feet like a proud child. Meanwhile, the advice from his Japanese friend had completely flown out of his mind. Realizing he had missed the last train, he thought, Bagong, no more spinning. See you at 5. After saying that, he left, and Bagong watched the train take her owner away. Something felt off, and her eyes showed concern. Her eyes heavy with memories recalled days with the professor. In class, he lectured, holding the ball as if Bagong were by his side. Subtitles. Soon, she felt ill, collapsed, and the ball rolled away. Sadly, she never woke up. At 5 o'clock, the post-work crowd flowed out of the station, yet there was no sign of the professor. With the sun setting, the station emptied, but Bagong lingered, feeling puzzled. This was the first time she hadn't seen her owner. That night, Bagong saw sadness in the house through a wall crack, her daughter's whispers hinting at trouble. The clever Bagong knew. The next day, the family held a funeral for the professor. Friends and relatives gathered to honor him, yet Bagong was nowhere to be seen. She still arrives at the station at 5, sitting on the flower bed opposite the door, awaiting her owner's return. She couldn't comprehend the words on the headstone or the expressions of the people passing by. She strained to recognize every face, but the professor never came, waiting until nightfall. Until the last train departed, Bagong remained at the flower bed. The conductor, pained by the sight, came over to persuade her to leave. You can't stay here like this. With that, the conductor finally left, and she was overwhelmed with unexplainable feelings. As snow thickened, Bagong drifted in an endless dream, life and death blending. She believed her owner would return after leaving. Later, the wife moved away from the sorrowful place, and Bagong was taken by her daughter and son-in-law to their new home. Looking at her old home with nostalgia, Bagong felt heartbroken. Though the new home was nice and she had her own spot, she looked gloomy daily, missing her owner. One day, Bagong rushed out as her son-in-law returned, longing surging, emotions unchecked. Regardless of her son-in-law's calls, Bagong never looked back, dashing through misty woods to the familiar tracks. Following the tracks, she finally traced back her memories and returned to her old home. But inside, everything had changed. Unfamiliar faces reminded her that she could never go back. Disappointed, Bagong ran out and returned to the station, where she first met the professor. Ignoring stares, she sat in the flowerbed opposite the gate. The man who once saw dogs as troublesome was now impressed by her loyalty. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to our channel for more heartwarming tales.